Good morning, everybody. As I said, by the grace of God, I have one more good lesson to share. And I'm studying on the law of the jungle. LAW, law of the jungle. Next time, Korean, not today. This one is trustworthy. Be a trustworthy man. I think that means women also. Somehow in the Bible is included in men. Man can be humanity. Every human is man. Be a trustworthy one. Example one, I find in Numbers, only in Chinese, in Numbers chapter 24 to 12. The Israelites said to Moses, if only we had died in Egypt when our brothers fell dead before the Lord. They were having a very bad time in Egypt. The Egyptian king found a very subtle way to wipe out all the Jews at that time. And their way, it may take one generation or 50 years to wipe out the Jews. When in Egypt, all the OB doctor, maybe not doctor, just OB person. Okay, David, PA to OB too? Oh. When they see male baby, they have to drown them. Not one male baby is to live. And that's one effective way in the long term. On this earth, no more Jews. Wipe out their male baby. So they pray to God to save them. And God helped Moses to grow up at a time like that. Maybe he was a very strong baby. When she grew up to a point, his mother cannot keep him quiet anymore. So they had to build something, put him on it, and let it flow on the river. And the king, a daughter of the king, picked him up, raised him as her son. So he got all the education he needed, and he became the one who is able to save the Israelites, took them out of Egypt to help them. But here, when they came into the desert, Z-I-N, translated Z-I-N, Zin, the Israelites said to Moses, if we only had died when we were in Egypt, but here, why did you bring us out of Egypt to this terrible place? How terrible it is. No grain, no figs, no grapevine, no pomegranate. Hey, Audrey, they like pomegranate too. I thought I'm the only one who liked it. I always remember when Mrs. Chen was in Hong Kong for a month or two, I decided to eat red pomegranate for a month, every day, once every day. And after that, I took the blood test, everything normal. Okay, Peter, may not for you, just for me, okay? I ate a month of pomegranate once each day, every day for a month. And after that, I took the blood test, everything normal. That would happen once in my lifetime, okay? It's just granted. And no water to drink. That means we have to die here. Everything dead. We have no water, no food, nothing. Moses and Aaron went to the left, went out from the assembly to the entrance of the tent. It's in the desert, okay? Tent of meeting, and fell face down. I guess pray to God. They used to face down, pray to God. And the glory of the Lord appeared to them. And the Lord said to Moses, take your staff, and you and your brother Aaron gather the assembly, all of Israel. Listen to it, I underline it, okay? Speak to that rock before their eyes, and it will pour out water. When I read things like this, I would think about Polar Spring. Do you know Polar Spring? Fresh water from the rock. The best one from the rock is clean. Polar Spring water, gush up. You speak to it. Tell the rock, speak to the rock, and it will come out water. Remember that, okay? You speak to that rock. Before their eyes, let them see. You speak like, everybody watch. Here's a rock. I'm going to tell this rock to come out water. You will bring water out of that rock for the community, so their livestock and they all can drink. All the people, all the livestock, everything have water to drink. Just go down there in front of everybody. You gather all of Israel so they can watch. And you tell the rock to come out water. So Moses took the staff from the Lord's presence, just as he commanded him. Look like he is doing what God tells him. You take your brother and a staff, and then you go to that rock. He and Aaron gathered the assembly together in front of the rock, and Moses said to them, listen, you rebels. I think he was not feeling well. He must be angry. You pray, you beg to God to make me to lead you out of Egypt, remember? And now you complain that I took you here to die, and you rather be dead in Egypt, but not out here. So he called them rebels, you rebels. Must we bring you water out of this rock? Okay? Aaron and I, we have to bring water out of this rock for you to drink. Then Moses raised his arm and struck, I guess with his staff, the rock twice. Oh, here, with his staff. Water gushed out. Bam! Water come out. Hey Moses, like you open the first one, bam! The other side, the sprinkler, like you have the sprinkler at home, in the yard, bam! Everywhere. Water gushed out. Better than Polar Spring. Everybody got lots of water to drink, and the community and the livestock drink. But here's the problem. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you did not trust in me You don't trust me. I told you to speak to the rock, but you hit the rock. You struck the rock. You handed it. That's not good. Then you may argue, lots of people argue nowadays. The result is the same. The rock, water come out from the rock. That's the result. End result is the same. You struck, you hit the rock, or split the rock. What's the difference? Same water come out. Don't try to second thought. When God said, speak to the rock, you speak to the rock. By His strike with the step. Yes, the same result come up. But God said, you did not trust in me enough to honor me as holy in the sight of the Israelites. Okay, now everybody in the world, this is something that we have to learn. And especially here in the Church of Christ. One more time, let me remind you, why did we have a piano here? Or some kind of instrumental music? Maybe BT drums, whatever. Why don't we have it? Because Hebrews chapter 13, verse 15, when it comes to worship, offering praises, singing, God specified fruit of your lips. Fruit of your lips. When we first moved in here, November 15, I wonder Moses still remember because he was a little boy, you know, and bring a little chair from the other side and walk over here. 1980, November 15, the first Sunday we worship here. And then at that time, we had lots of people come by to visit. They always looking for a piano, especially on this side, usually a piano on this side. And once in a while, people will give us an envelope with money inside, specified to buy a piano, have to buy a piano. They don't understand. If they stay long enough, they know we have piano in my study room at home, but not here. Okay? And I still play and train myself to sing. Okay? God has specified when it comes to worship God, using the fruits of the lips. Here's the case. God told Moses, Aaron, you go speak to the rock. Not hit it, not strike it. Okay, you speak to the rock in front of the people. Let them see the power of your word. Because this is the power of God's word. God said, you speak to the rock. You speak to the rock. Don't second thought the word of God. Be careful. But God was merciful enough not to put him in hell. Just make him not able, and he's become unqualified to go into the promised land. He said, trust me enough as holy in the sight of Israelites. You will not bring the community into the land of promise I give them. The land of Canaan. You cannot enter. This is one reason lots of preachers like to say the promised land, land of Canada, the promised land, it's just like heaven. If you put it like that, that means Moses is not in there. You cannot go in there, you cannot do that. Don't try. Moses was stripped the privilege to enter the promised land because of that careless action. I say careless. Maybe he was angry. He was a little bit out of his mind. He neglected that. That God said, speak to the rock. Maybe out of his anger, I guess, the Bible did not say. He struck the rock. Of course, end result of sin. But he lost his privilege to get to see promised land. This is number one. When God speaks, you speak. Don't try anything else. You do exactly, precisely what says in the Bible. Example number 2. In the New Testament, a certain the king's servant, royal official, his son was laid sick, almost died at Capernaum. When he heard Jesus had arrived in Galilee from Judea, he went to him and begged him to come and heal his son before he died, before his son died. So he went there to beg Jesus to come before his son died. And Jesus told him, unless you people see miraculous signs and wonders, you will never believe. That was the time, 2,000 years ago. Jesus sent disciples, went out to preach, to evangelize. And he said, miraculous signs will follow them to prove what they preached was gospel from God. This is the same idea over here. Wonder and miraculous signs to help people to believe Jesus. The royal official said, sir, come down before my child dies. All the doctor know this. All the doctor will help those who not die yet. They can be very, very sick. I have seen lots of people in different states of dying. Some live by feeding tube. No emotion at all. And the father said, the royal official said, sir, please come down before my son dies. But Jesus replied, you can go. Your son will live. That's simple. So Jesus said, now go home. Your son live. So easy. Very simple. And what happened? I love this one. So I underlined it. The man took Jesus at his word and went, departed. That's simple. Hey, David, faith. This is what faith means. He has faith, big faith. Jesus said, you can go home now. Your son lives. And he took Jesus at his word. That's gentleman. And he went home. Just like that. Not like some people continue to beg, kneel down, cry out, please come down to our house and see our son before he died. He's going almost dead. Please come quickly. No. And Jesus said, go home. Your son lives. And he went. Hey, Moses, such faith. This is what you call faith. Take him at his word. He said the word, your son lived. And he went home. His son lived. And here is the funny one. You go, everybody learn this one. I hope you learn this one. Original text by every word. He said, according to the sequence in original text, tells him Jesus. So when you translate English, Jesus tells him, right? Jesus tells him, you line up this way. And then, the son of thee lives. That means, your son lives. This is how you translate, okay? And here it said, believe the man the word which said to him, Jesus, and when. So how you line up, okay? And then you will learn. This is original text in the sequence. Line up this way, original text. And now you can learn, learn why they have different versions. If you line up different, you have different meaning here. So be careful, okay? This is original text. Okay, I'll call it original text. Believe the man, the word which said to him, Jesus. Okay? Believe the word Jesus said to him, right? And he went home. Think like that, okay? Just for everybody have some fun to learn how to line up the original text become English. Now here, while he was still on the way home, his servant met him with the news that his boy living. Now, this is how much the Bible tells us, but we can imagine, we can think. Okay? This is what I think. The servant saw that his master's son lived. Then well, he must be very happy, running as fast as he can before my master to beg Jesus to heal him. So maybe he was rushing. Hey, you don't have to battle Jesus anymore. Your son is okay now. You don't need to go ask him. Your son is okay now. Must be like that. Rush to tell him. Either way, he was very happy. Rush to him. Meet him on the way. And he inquired. He asked as to the timing. When his son got better, they said to him, the fever left him yesterday at the 7 hour. Yesterday, 7 hours. So quite a while away. Okay, it's yesterday, 7 hours. You can count. The New International. You will have an international version. You will have what time? Then the father realized that was the exact time when Jesus had said to him, your son will live. Exact time. Okay? When he asked, sir, please come to my house. Heal my child. My son is about to die. And Jesus said, you can go home. Your son lives. And that exact time, his son become well. Then, so he and his family believed. Okay? Be a trustworthy man. People can take you at your word. By the grace of God, 60-some years ago, after I believed Jesus, next week I will tell you why I dedicated to become a preacher. It's because I have seen lots of people everywhere practice the law of the jungle. Next week, I'll make it very clear to everybody that law, L-A-W, of the jungle. I have seen in my life. All over the world, people are practicing the law of the jungle. And that was one big reason I dedicate to be a preacher of the gospel of Christ. Okay, here we come back. People can take Jesus at his word and prove to be right. Now, number 3 now. Jesus taught people how to be honest, practice what they said. Again, you have heard that it was said to them of old time, thou shalt not swear. Here are a lot of big story you can study. But I will go through what's said in the Bible. I will not go into detail. You can have lots of story here. Was said to them of old time, thou shalt not forward swear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thy oath. When you swear, you keep that. But I say unto you, swear not at all. Do not do that. Neither by the heaven, neither because it is the throne of God, nor by earth, it is the footstool of his feet. You cannot point to heaven. You cannot point to the earth. You cannot point to Jerusalem. You cannot point to your head. Hey, David, maybe this is why Americans do this. And then swear. Because the Bible always says you don't point to your head. You don't point to heaven. You don't point to the earth. You don't point to the city, Jerusalem. You don't even point to your head. Nowhere. The Bible did not say, don't lay your left hand and then you swear. But here, you have a lot of story over here. I don't have time for that. Nor by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, and thou cannot make one hair white or black. But let your speech be yes, yes, no, no. Whatever more than this is of the devil. This is the conclusion. People can take you at your word. Your word is trustworthy. I always remember 16 years ago, I told you this story quite often, a few times. When it comes to trustworthy day, one day I was on a public transportation and there's crowded, so I hold my hand to the rear up there, and then a young man and his girlfriend sit right there on the seat. The young man keeps telling the girl, hey, you girl, listen to it very carefully. The young man keeps saying, I really love you, really, really love you. And then he raised up his 3 finger. I swear to the tomb of my mother. He swear to the tomb of his mother, I really love you. You see, I just stand there. I just stood there, do nothing, say nothing. But I feel sad for the girl when he has to say to her like that. But the scripture says, hey, if yes, say yes. If no, say no. Anything more than that is from the devil. So don't do that. Sometimes when you cannot say those things, you can do this. I know what happened to this man, what he did, but I cannot tell you. I give you his telephone number. You can call him. I even can take you to his house to visit him, and you ask yourself. Okay? But be sure not to lie. by the grace of God, hey, listen, by the grace of God, this morning, 10 o'clock, hey, David, lots of people this morning, 10 o'clock, fill out every sheet, okay? Lots of people, maybe they come to the wrong place. Recently, I met quite a few people. They come in here. If we come here to worship, do you write a letter to prove that we come to church? That question. I said, what are you talking about? Asking for asylum, religious persecution is there, so you can stay in America? And then nowadays, I always tell the story. 35 years ago, maybe my first letter, I wrote quite a few. I can show you that. Okay? I write quite a few. And according to what I know, not one failed. But in the last few years, at least last 4 or 5 years, I cannot do that anymore. It's because this trustworthy thing, about lying thing. I told them because recently they strictly require the preacher of the church where you attend have to show up on court, in a courthouse, in a courtroom to verify, to witness. So here we have a Presbyterian church, but they have a Chinese mission to help Chinese people. They have a trained minister specialized in helping Chinese people to do this process. So very often this pastor would become witness for these people seeking for asylum in a court. And one time the judge asked this pastor, I read that in a newspaper, okay? Asked the preacher, after he got a green card, will he continue to come back? Will they continue to come back? You witness for quite a few people in my court. After they got green card, will they still come to your church? You know what's the answer? Practically, not one. Then I asked, is this applicant got approved? No, naturally not, because he cannot lie. He cannot lie in the court, because he lied in the court, he is in trouble. So he said, practically no one. After they get approved, after they got a stamp, they don't come back anymore. I tell you the story. Then he smiled. But this man, I appreciate. He's very honest. I said, when you apply the asylum, you have to hire a lawyer. And the lawyer asks you to lie so you can be approved to get a green card to stay in America. Because of that, I cannot go to court for you. I cannot participate in anything, include lying. You know what was the answer? Gordon, I appreciate it. You know? Nonsense. 你明唔明啊？ Nonsense. That's it. He is very honest. He knows in the process of applying for approval, it involves a lot of time to lie, and we cannot do that. And that's one reason, most important, I will not be in the court to witness for them. They have my sympathy. America may be bad, but still have 100,000 undocumented come into New York City. Hey, Peter, 100,000. in New York City. May add the hard time. But you know, New York City had a lot of correction facility not being used. And they had found one, I forgot where it is, a big building, correction facility for men, can live 500 people. This morning I saw the report. They can convert that building because it's empty, vacant. They can fix up that. I was thinking about school building. You guys can all Zoom at home. You don't need school building. Every classroom, play some band for the homeless, for the illegal area. They have cafeteria, right, Peter? They have cafeteria, they have a living room, they have kitchen, they have a laboratory. Everything is set. Every classroom, a living quarter. Perfect. And teacher can be at home. Just zoom into every house of the student. You don't need school building anymore. Okay, that's some kind of joke, okay? But someday it may be reality, I don't know. But let your speech be yes or no, no more than that. Jesus said, lies and liars belong to the devil. If you need the scripture here, John chapter 8, 31 to 44. Lying and liars belong to the devil. Do not let people fool you, saying, I am a Christian. According, you heard this? To prove that he's honest. They use this phrase. If people doubt, cannot believe what they say, they say, I'm a Christian. You can believe me. Watch out. According to Acts chapter 2, 47, if they're not in the Church of Christ, they're not Christian. Even Satan can pretend to be angel of light in the Church of Christ. You want to watch out. You cannot just take their word, believe what they say. Their word may not be true. And what you see may not be true. That's why, you know who came out this word? Watch what done, not what said. You know who came up with this word? Who started this word? Now it's become popular on the web. YouTube. Okay? YouTube. You want to watch what people done, not what they said. Watch this. No God believers said this about Christianity people. No God believers. They believe no God. Those people say this to Christianity people. They all say, I am a Christian. But when they say something and they've done something different, they're saying, and what they've done, not the same. All over the world has become a 21st century common speech, common way. You want to watch what they've done, not what they said. Because mostly they all lie. They all liars and lies to them. No God believer has said that. You want to be very careful. When people say, I'm a Christian, you want to see what they've done. Number 4, Bible preachers and their supporters I plan to visit you on my way to Macedonia and I'll come back to you from Macedonia. And then to have you send me on my way to Judea. You know what this phrase means? What this phrase means? This phrase means what? I will come back to you. Be prepared to have whatever I need so that I can go to Jerusalem. Understand now? Money, transportation, everything I need to go to Jerusalem. Understand that now? At that time, this is supposed to be a great privilege that Apostle Paul has so much trust in the people there in Corinth. Hey, Audrey, this is trust. He has so much confidence. Now I'm going to Macedonia and I will come back. By the time you have to be ready, everything I need to go to Judea, he has complete trust on the people over there. That's what I mean. He had so much trust on them. Then I will go to Macedonia and come back. Then to have you send me on my way to Judea. Okay? By the grace of God, I was very, very blessed. 1988, the church in New Jersey, those elders told me, John, you can visit China, evangelize China for a month. Here we have $15,000 for you to spend. We will make sure the church is flourishing. Somebody will preach there. You can be free to preach in China. $15,000 for a month to spend. I give them my word. They give me their word. That's all. We don't have to sign anything. But one thing, God make it this way. Father Jim Cook, Moses, remember him? He said, John, how long are you going to stay in New York City? Now sometimes I say, maybe I get the homework. I said, when the Chinese Church of Christ here have elders, then I will leave New York City. My next stop is Toronto, 2 or 3 years. And next to it is, how suddenly I forgot, Vancouver. And then San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, back to Texas. That was my plan 15 years ago. But God put me here all this year by the grace of God. I took their word, they took my word. And I'm still here by the grace of God. That's what I mean. When I planned this, did I do it lightly? Or did my plan in a worldly manner? See, worldly manner is different. So that in some breath, I say yes, yes, no, no. But as surely as God is faithful, our message to you is not yes or no. For the Son of God, Jesus Christ, who was preached among you by me and Silas and Timothy, was not yes and no, but in him it had always been yes all the way. It's yes all the way. In the Church of Christ, it's always yes all the way. By the grace of God, Moses always take me by my word. You're blessed, Moses. He always take me by my word. Also, you're blessed too. People here, remember, hey, Rabbi, remember, people should be able to take you at your word. That much trustworthy. Apostle Paul had it with himself. Apostle Paul had it even with the church in Corinthians. Everywhere. You can take my word, I can take your word. When I need to go back to visit Jerusalem, to Judea, everything I need will be prepared for me. I believe and trust that you can do it. Always be yes when it comes to evangelization, when it comes to whatever is needed. Conclusion now. In the first century, when apostles were living, liars in the Church of Christ, what? Everybody know that? Drop dead. By the grace of God, I came up this one. Hey, Moses smiled. When the apostles were alive, any liar in the church, drop D-E-A-D. You read it yourself. Acts chapter 5, 1 to 10. Both of them dropped dead. The husband came in. Apostle Peter asked him, is this all the money? They said, yes, dead. 3 hours later, his wife came in. Is this all the money? Yes, dead. By the grace of God. In the Church of Christ, no liars can live. How come I'm smiling? Is that a happy day? By the grace of God, no liar can last long in the Church of Christ. I can take your word. You can take my word. We are brothers and sisters. We all together, we glorify God. Be man worthy of trust. David, come and say closing prayer.